Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan Battle video. In this video we're going to be taking a look at Unparalleled Super Saiyan, Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, how good he is after his Super Extreme Z Awakening. So Vegeta is a Super AGL type, Extreme type, and he greatly raises defense in one turn, causes immense damage to the enemy and greatly lowers defense, whilst also raising his own attack by 30% for 6 turns. Vegeta has Ki +2, attack and defense of 200%, and also launches an additional attack that has a great chance of becoming a super attack. Per superclass category ally attacking in the same turn, he gets 10% damage reduction and attack and defense of 100%. This includes himself. And when there is an extreme class enemy or when there is another GT Heroes category ally attacking in the same turn, he gives all allies defense of 40% and performs a critical hit. When attacking a 12 or more Ki, he gets attack of 100%, and as the second or third attacker in the turn, he gets attack of 100% as well. And when receiving a super attack, defense of 100% temporarily, high chance of nullifying it and countering with tremendous power. Gear Super Saiyan, Saiyan Raw, prepared for battle. Shocking Speed, GT, Saiyan Pride, Fierce Battle as his link set. And of course, as well, he's on 10 categories: Shadow Dragon Saga, Pure Saiyans, Vegeta's Family, Worthy Rivals, Saviors, Giant Air Power, etc, etc. So Vegeta is pretty good. I think the big thing with Vegeta, much like Goku, they share a lot of the same strengths. They obviously counterbalances to each other. Goku gains a lot of defense, functions better in the first and second slot, whereas Vegeta gains a lot of attack, functions better in the second and third slot. And the thing is if I look at all of them and I look at how both of them work, they obviously have a synergy that's very evident. Whether it's enough, for example, for Goku to actually be a first slot tank, don't think so. But the important thing here is that you understand that they both functionally serve different roles now. So whereas before Vegeta kind of suffered, like people didn't really value Vegeta at the same length as Goku, because Vegeta, his defense ended up being slightly worse. His offense ended up being kind of like the same. He didn't really have a distinct role. They've kind of remedied this by giving them slot-based performance measures. So you'll see Vegeta in the first slot, he's doing like 23 million. He's doing like 24 million. Stick Vegeta in the second slot, my man's doing 37, 38, 41, 42. And this overall is very, very, very good. So it gives him a positional situation that suits him a lot more than just kind of being left to be a functional unit that can just be slotted anywhere. And what's great about him is that AGL SS4 Gogeta is pretty much a first slot tank for all intents and purposes. And Vegeta as a unit thrives in the second slot. So he, more than Goku, probably is the offensive demon that you're expecting to get, whereas Goku is more defensively resolute. And neither is a bad thing. They're both excellent SEZAs. Now, I think for talking about the units in general, obviously there are a couple things. So firstly, to just keep in mind that I think for the most part you have to understand that neither Goku nor Vegeta has scaling. So they don't raise attack and defense permanently, they don't raise defense permanently, they don't raise attack permanently. The raising attack by 30% for 6 turns also is less effective than the defense. It's not something you're going to notice openly as much, because there's a lot more multipliers on the attack that kind of occur. For example, Vegeta getting support is more crucial towards his calculation of his attack stat than it is him holding an extra stack of these abilities. But what's great with him, is he's got his crit, right? He's got his built-in crit pretty much. He's got his counters. He's got a lot going on. So I think, understandably so, Vegeta is honestly really a great unit. I think he's a really good unit. I think he functions exceptionally well and does exactly what you want him to do. Does his performance to a very high level, and it's easy to slot in on the teams you want to use him on. Giant Air Power, cool. GT Heroes, cool. Vegeta's Family, not too bad. There's no real big conditional requirement holding him back. Obviously there's the super class aspect, so things like Shadow Dragon Saga, a little bit more difficult to run technically if you're really looking to incorporate extreme units onto that. But a super class requirement for a super class unit is much like an extreme requirement for an extreme class unit. Most times you're going to be running a full extreme team, or you'll be running a full super team. You are not going to be in a situation where you're going to be running like these hybrid teams. Those don't really occur still. It sounds weird to say, but the amount of categories that actually efficiently, effectively run a hybrid extreme super team is like very minimal. I mean, you get like Universe 6, where there's some extreme hits and that. You just don't really get it. It sounds really weird to say because you'd think like, oh wow, we'd have lots of teams that have that, but we don't. And Vegeta's great. So his caveat of super isn't a huge issue. Yeah, I did put it down that he's slightly conditional, much like I did for Goku, but it's not that they are actually really hindered by that condition. Yeah, it's not like where you have units that are like they need to have specifically a future super unit, or they need to specifically have a future extreme unit, or they need to specifically have a uncontrollable power 3 units to kind of work. So I think like that aspect of Vegeta isn't a big issue. Look, in terms of raw defense, like he is rocking only 30% damage reduction. He is pretty much only rocking defense. The high chance of nullifying is very good. It's very helpful. But I would say, like, how long will that last? With no guard, only 30% damage reduction? We'll have to see. But right now, I think it's good. I think they're in a good space, and they suit the current kind of events and meta we've been getting with the celebration. Like, yes, they don't have a ton of scalability, but they start out really strong, and they don't really dip off. Like Goku, for example, I mentioned him. He stacks that defense for 6 turns. Really functions perfectly fine. And like I say with Vegeta, also functions perfectly fine. So yeah, it's not like a huge hindrance, personally. But I do think like eventually the meta will shift, as always. And then you'll have wished that they had a little bit of stacking. Or there will be an event that comes out where you have wished that they had a little bit of stacking. Just to kind of keep them at a relevant level. But yeah, that's it from me. Honestly, I think a great unit. And see you guys in the next one. Bye.